Hi everyone. Welcome to yet another webinar by Tilli Software on Monay Payment Processing for e-commerce that ensures a smooth checkout and elevated user experience. I am Rinki Manya, Marketing and Communication Head at Tilli Software and your moderator for this webinar. When we talk about e-commerce, we all know that e-commerce has taken the world by storm. The market size, which was valued at 16.6 trillion USD in the year 2022, is expected to reach a whopping value of $70.9 trillion by the end of 2028. And that is huge. A number of factors are there that contribute to this gigantic growth of e-commerce industry across the world. And innovations in digital payment system is one of them. Now, the customers know that whatever information they are sharing on e commerce portals, their financial details or their personal data, is safe and secure because the market is also driven by implementation of encryption technologies, stringent security protocols, and multi factor authentications. This builds the trust of customers. They share their information, they are free to purchase, and they find it very comfortable and confident to share their details over the e commerce portals. On the other hand, we also see that a number of e commerce portals are there who still struggle with their sales, who struggle with their customer retention and overall success of their e commerce business. Do payment gateways still have some role to play here? Do you think that the integration of a reliable merchant processor can help in building the trust and can help in ensuring a smooth checkout experience for the shoppers? And most important thing, are there some elements that can ensure that the payment they make online are secure, safe? So these are a few of the discussion points and areas of focus in today's webinar. So let's welcome for the speakers of the day, Shabbir Gilani, our Chief Revenue Officer, and Ibrahim Ali, Product Owner of Monay Digital Solutions at Tilli. Hi Shabbir, hello Ibrahim, welcome to the webinar. Shabbir, over to you.
Thank you, Rinki. Hi, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Shabbir Gilani, as Rinki had pointed out. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer for Tilli. I will be covering some of the high-level overviews, and my associate Ibrahim Ali will be kind of going over some of the e-commerce initiatives and capabilities that we offer as part of our Monay offering to market. But at a very high level, I wanted to kind of introduce Tilli, who we are, what we do in the market, how long we've been around, the subject matter expertise that we bring to the table, as well as the solutions that we offer. So Tilli has been around since 2014, and they started off as a management consulting practice within the electronic bill presentment and payment space, specifically within the utility segment of the market. We've now expanded and evolved our capabilities to market with solutions that address payment processing, e-commerce experience, bill presentment across multiple industries. And we've built solutions based on our subject matter experts, working with our strategic partners globally on expanding our footprint and our reach to different segments of the market. We are specifically within the payments initiative, certified specifically around SOC 2, PCI DSS compliance, ISO 20022. We are a minority owned business within the state of Maryland, as well as other regions, other states within the US. Headquartered in the US with a footprint in India as well, and expanding globally in other markets as well. Now, what we offer is still the original components of where Tilli started, which is a management consulting practice. And because we have subject matter expertise and boots on the ground, we offer a lot of different types of consulting engagements, in addition to the solutions and the product suites that we offer on the right side. So the consulting practice, especially working with our existing customers or any net new, allows us to better understand the landscape, the infrastructure of a lot of our customers, right? We work with developers, the developer communities, especially in this specific webinar around the e-commerce initiative, is to kind of engage exactly what are the pain points, what are the specific current capabilities of e-commerce process flows. So down to not only the provider of the e-commerce offering, but also the customer experience, right? A customer, a consumer going online and making a purchase for a product, for a solution, depending on the e-commerce's offering. And of course, all the way to checkout experience. We do that consulting engagement to sit through, do the requirements gathering to make sure that we're actually providing certain types of offerings to market, and then build and customize bespoke around those capabilities specific to our customers. So the management consulting practice is a very important arm of Tilli to do the requirements gathering phase, right? Creating a pilot environment, a sandbox environment, a proof of concept, assessing during in the implementation exactly what needs are and what inputs are needed from the customer to kind of build out a solution that specifically meets their market needs. On the right side, as Tilly has evolved since 2014, we've built technology solutions specifically around bill presentment and payment processing, right? So when we think about the different types of flows when it comes to a bill, so a bill going out, we utilize our customer communication solution, which is a communication platform as a service called Nudge, which allows customers to receive a message via SMS text, email, chatbot, through Alexa, utilizing smart speakers to say what your electric bill, gas bill, mortgage bill, auto loan bill is actually due for that month, and to facilitate a payment. So that entire life cycle and flow leverages the Nudge solution, the Monay solution, and our customer portal, Tilli CX. What we're going to focus on for this webinar is the Monay solution. We will have future webinars around Nudge and Tilli CX, and please stay tuned for those webinars that will be coming up in the next couple of months. And we'll expand on some of the capabilities around Nudge and Tilli CX. But today's main focus is going to be around Monay. So when we think about Monay, the infrastructure comes into three main segments, right? We are a payment gateway or a payment processor equivalent to the likes of a lot of the payment processors that are out there at point of sale when you're processing a payment for a consumer to purchase a product at a store retail location or through an e-commerce experience. So Monay allows for that within the US as a seamless process, not only from a payments acceptance, so a customer can be using a debit card, a credit card, an ACH tied to your bank, including alternate payment methods, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, Venmo. So all of those components allowing the customer to utilize different payment methods to facilitate a digital payment to purchase a solution, either point of sale at a retail institution or through an e-commerce experience, allows us to what I call process those payments. The second is a stored value wallet. We'll get into those details at a future webinar, but our Monay solution is also a digital wallet equivalent to the other providers that are out there to allow you to manage your finances, basically kind of tie into a digital banking experience, which is the banking as a service model, point three. To then have that experience to utilize that wallet, manage your finances, which includes also paying your bills, all through an app. We have those capabilities at hand. So it all depends on the actual use cases and some of the customers that we're actually providing. But again, we'll focus on the e-commerce experience. Ibrahim Ali, that's on the call today, will now go through our offering. We're happy to have more detailed discussions about this. Please do reach out to us at the end of this. We do have a Q&A session, so we look forward to that engagement. Ibrahim?
Awesome. Thanks, Shabbir. Yeah, excited to be here today to talk with you guys about Monay Payment Gateway and GPS as a whole, and how Monay can really help elevate the checkout experience for a lot of different e-commerce brands. So when we're thinking about Monay, when it comes to e-commerce, right, these are the two kind of primary tenets. We want to ensure that your checkout process is smooth, and we want to elevate the ultimate user experience that you're going to have while you're there. Next slide, please. So to begin, let's talk about what really troubles e-commerce, especially right now during holiday season. The biggest thing that most e-commerce brands have to deal with is a cart abandonment. You have an average cart abandonment rate of 70%, with a mobile cart abandonment rate of 85%. Mobile sales account for, I think, a growing above 30% of retail purchases these days. So this actually represents a really, really high number, and it accumulates into an over $18 billion loss in total yearly sales revenue for these different e-commerce brands. Thanks, Shabbir. Could you go next slide? Some of the reasons that people abandon their carts, right? One is, a complicated checkout process, right? Multiple steps, lots of friction, multiple different times you have to re-enter redundant information, lots of loading times. Sometimes it's due to lack of payment options. Sometimes you'll see I can only pay via card, or I have to pay via some other antiquated method. I can't pay with my wallet. I can't pay, right, using any of the new different financial instruments I have on me. And finally, during holiday season, this is something to really keep in mind, are processor failures during demand spikes. When you're running a flash sale, when you're running a different promotion, the last thing you want is for a high volume of traffic to hit your website, and then for your processor to ultimately fail you when people are trying to check out. A lack of trust and security concerns are also definitely top of mind for consumers, especially in the current financial or in the current technological climate. And this is something, of course, that is incredibly important for any payment processing system. And it also contributes, again, to this idea of a cart abandonment and why users don't go through with the full checkout process. So Shabbir, could you go to the next slide, please? So introduce Monay, part of a fintech revolution is what we like to call it, and part of what we like to call our fin stack. Our Monay product is PCI certified, SOC 2 certified, and ISO 20022 certified. But above all else, we consider this the all-in-one payment solution. You can handle B2B, C2B payments. You can handle split payments, either within our consumer wallet application or externally. We provide, again, that digital consumer wallet that allows for consumers to interface with other consumers, for consumers to pay bills for businesses, and also for businesses to interact with consumers. And finally, right, of course, as Shabbir noted, we're also banking as a service. We provide you the full suite of capabilities that you expect out of your mobile wallet experience. Shabbir, can you go to the next slide, please? Right. And so really when it comes down to it, as banking as a service provider, as a payment processor, and as a mobile wallet, what we really care about are these major pain points that e-commerce brands typically face. We want to provide multiple payment options, whether it be via the new FedNow service that the Fed has just brought in, via real-time gross settlement, via your typical retail mobile wallets that you're known to have, like Apple Pay, Google Pay, via ACH if you need to, and of course via our traditional methods, credit cards and debit cards. This is all really important for both e-commerce, but also at point of sale. Being able to provide this not just online, but also right at a brick and mortar experience is incredibly important. And we can handle all different types of transactions. This isn't just ad hoc one-time transactions. I want to buy one thing. It can be for subscription services. It could be for recurring bills, for recurring utilities, stuff like that. And of course, ultimately, above all else, what we like to offer is not just services for the end user, but then services for the businesses that we work with via fast settlement, via reconciliation, via really strong reporting tools, really strong analytics tools. So you can understand where spend is coming from and also ensure that that money gets to you ASAP. Next slide, please, Shabbir. So how does Monay actually fit the need of an e-commerce payment gateway? Well, let's circle back initially to some context. We're in the middle of holiday season. Every different retail brand, every e-commerce brand is working on a bunch of different sales, a bunch of different promotions, a bunch of different opportunities for consumers to interact with their brand and, of course, to check out, to buy stuff. And I think we've all been in a situation where, you've gone into a flash sale, you want to buy something, and you finally get to the end of the checkout process, and then you get hit with this confirmation error or this card registration error. Or even after you've made your purchase, you get an email after the fact saying your purchase has been canceled due to either some payment processor error or your the payment facilitator not being able to handle card registration, or a variety of other reasons. Should be your next slide, please. So this is really where Monay excels. We're your partner when it comes to e-commerce success. Reliability and availability are first-class concepts for our FinStack. We need to be able to handle a large volume of traffic, and we need to be able to handle an infinite amount of transaction requests happening concurrently all the time. What this really enables any retail experience to do, any e-commerce experience to do is, again, it's this idea of flash sales. It's this idea of being able to interact with different consumers in spontaneous ways and different ways, and above all else, empowering your brand to actually go out and capture spend. And then finally, when it comes to the actual developer side, how does it come to how is integrating with our payment gateway? How does that process look like? We provide a very flexible suite of APIs and SDKs in pretty much all of the popular frameworks and languages. And it's pretty easy to integrate into most e-commerce applications, primarily being SDKs being offered for, of course, your major e-commerce platforms such as Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce. And within each of these integrations, of course, we allow for you to use multiple different payment methods, of course, bound by which region you're in. But here in the US, we'll give you the option, of course, to do your traditional credit card, debit card. But we also will give you the option to use FedNow, the Fed's new real-time payment solution, and real-time gross settlement, which is another concept that we can definitely discuss if time permits. Should be our next slide, please. And so when it comes to making payments with Monay, what we really enable you to do, again, is make those payments securely, make them highly available, meaning that, as a developer, you never have to worry about payments being a single source of failure for your e-commerce brand. But above all else, we provide a whole suite of product functionality, not just so we integrate into your e-commerce brand, but also so you can come back and look at how we as a platform are benefiting you. So that means, of course, reporting analytics regarding where is your spend coming from, what pages are users usually landing on and then spending, what regions are you usually getting spent from. It also means that users can pay whenever is convenient for them, meaning they can pay at your checkout experience, or they can pay using our own payment pages so that your own site isn't inundated with requests. Should be your next slide, please. And so to actually go through what this process might look like, we're just going to go through Tilli.co, which is our own small retail brand, or rather our own small retail website. Here you can see, right, we offer a small product of blueberries. You have the option of selecting a different retail location. And of course, right, the abilities to compare, to wish list, all of which are actually native to our Monay payment solution. Next slide. So here, right, you select a store location, right, and then next slide, please. And we go ahead and we add it to your cart. The moment something gets added to a cart within the Monay system, we're actually already ready right then and there to go ahead and process that payment. If you have a payment method already on file with your customer, we can immediately process that, or of course, we can wait until the customer decides to check out. This enables you to have immediate checkout processes for all of the different products that you offer on different pages. Next, please. So yeah, here you can see, right, where we have a shopping cart that's full. You can take a subtotal here. If you wanted, you could enable instant payment and instant settlement right here. Instant payment, of course, meaning the user already has, right, a wallet or some type of payment method saved within your system, and they can immediately check out. Otherwise, they can view their cart, go through the full checkout process themselves. So here, of course, right, you see your typical payment page, which involves billing details, involves adding a bunch of different things to your bunch of different forms that you have to fill out, right? A very long process, especially for customers who are new to your site. However, if you chose Monay Payment Gateway as a payment option here, we can fast track this entire process and build an entire checkout experience that involves going through these billing details, but then ultimately saving that method, right? Not just here, but also across other e-commerce brands, integrated with other brands or other products that you might have. And finally, it allows you to enable the use of the payment gateway for any future websites or any future e-commerce opportunities that you might engage in the future, all using the exact same payment gateway configuration. Okay, and that is all for me. Thanks, Shabbir. Thank you, Rinki. We'll be opening us up to questions now.
Yeah, thank you, Ibrahim. You have added a lot of valuable information to this webinar. Here we will quickly attend a few questions. Ibrahim, my question is to you. How does Monay Payment Processing streamline the checkout process and elevate the user experience?
Right. So I'd say we do this in 3 ways primarily. One is we enable instant checkout experiences. This means that if a consumer is going to your website for a specific type of product in mind, they can just immediately check out. They don't have to go through a full checkout flow. They don't have to select their payment method. Instead, what they can do is they can register a default one with us via your e-commerce website, and they can just immediately check out right then and there. The second way, of course, is registering a new payment method within Monay Payment Gateway is fast and secure. We enable you to either scan in your credit cards, or very quickly access your FedNow accounts or ACH accounts, which will then, of course, immediately get settled immediately get linked to your wallets, and then also allow you to reuse that wallet on other e-commerce brands. So your users can come in already with their payment information ready. Finally, the third way I'd say that we really streamline this process is through our reliability. Because we provide a reliable and fast experience, users don't have to ever wait. You're never stuck on a loading page, and you're definitely never going to get an email saying your items have been canceled or your payment has failed.
Okay. So, what exact specific security measures do you take to prevent fraud and ensure security of online transactions during any e-commerce purchasing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as Shabbir noted initially, we are SOC 2 compliant, PCI DSS certified, and also ISO 2022, compliant as well. So we take, of course, all of the traditional security methods, and we take those very seriously, but we go a little bit above and beyond as well. As a developer, it's important that we also secure our entire fin stack from the ground up. So we work with a variety of security vendors to ensure that both our resources in the cloud and resources on site are always secure. And we also work within our own enterprise to ensure that we follow the latest security guidelines and ensure that anytime any vulnerabilities appear due to any third-party software that we're using, that we are on top of ensuring that those get patched.
And the next question we have is, how does Monay Payment Processing contribute to reducing the card abandonment and boosting the overall conversion rates?
Right. So I think I'll begin with answering the end of your question. The biggest part, or at least the part of the Monay FinStack and the Monay Payment Gateway that I'm most proud of, is our super low latency, how fast and reliable it is. You're not really spending much time waiting to check out. And because of that, you have much higher throughput through your e-commerce brand. This really goes to show that, ultimately what we care about is not just, a payment gateway experience that is supreme, but also just an end user consumer experience on your e-commerce brand that is that goes above and beyond. We want to make sure that congestion levels remain low, due specifically or rather, excuse me, that congestion never goes high because of payment processing volume. We want to make sure that consumers don't have to, right, finagle in order to get their different payment methods in. And we will never allow any of our payment processing to fail on our end due to congestion or due to volume.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Shabbir, can you shed some light on the implementation process of Monay and the level of customization it allows?
Sure. So when we talked about um, the flexibility around engaging our customers, or giving, as Ibrahim had alluded to, the access to our APIs and SDKs, the approach that we like to take is, if there's an opportunity for us to engage somebody to kind of build out, so as you saw that utility co e-commerce experience in the web page, where somebody goes in and buys blueberries, we have the ability to customize that experience, right? That front end shopping cart experience, as well as product selections, depending on our customers' needs, right? So the implementation would engage us into a proof of concept, a requirements gathering phase to kind of build that experience out. However, the second part, which is kind of independent but can be combined, is the payment processing experience. Now, what I mean by that is, there's one aspect of building the website, right? We can definitely do that based on a requirements gathering session. The other aspect is just payments. Say, for example, a lot of the developer community out there has already engaged in building out the e-commerce experience, but want to add on a payment processor, right? That checkout experience to facilitate a consumer's purchase, and then process that payment, and then update, of course, from a settlement and reconciliation perspective, the backend systems, right? Monay is that backend payment processor. So by accessing our APIs and SDKs, the developers can very, very easily build in the payment processor to their existing project, and they are processing payments, of course, pending any KYC, KYB processes that have to be done, can start processing payments immediately, right? So we want to try to build out an experience where developers have access to these tools to incorporate the payments experience seamlessly. But at the same time, if there's a need to kind of expand that project into building an e-commerce engagement, we're happy to do that as well.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of information we got, like how businesses can streamline their payment processing system to ensure smooth checkouts and elevate the payment journey of their customers and boost their overall sales. Thank you, Shabbir. Thank you, Ibrahim, for joining in this webinar and giving such valuable insights on the topic. And to our attendees, if you have additional questions and you have queries around our digital payment solution, Monay, or solutions from Tilli, then please drop your queries to discover@tilli.pro. And please stay tuned for our upcoming webinars. We'll be talking more about communication and payment processing solutions. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.